How's things with you? You good?
Yes, I mean, it's tough for everybody at the moment, isn't it? I mean, no one's in offices, so I'm not getting any new requests for office art. However, I have done a lot of video content with people who know a lot about offices. So
All
thanks
right.
for joining me today for
Pleasure.
virtual
Pleasure.
studio tours.
Yeah, how exciting. This is my first ever Instagram live, you know.
Oh, is
So,
it?
yeah, I'm just getting
Yay! I
I'm
popped your
I'm seeing
cherry.
at the bottom of this thing there's like all these people are joining the conversation now. It's quite
Yeah, which
scary
is really
actually.
exciting. Well, we welcome questions if people who've got questions.
All
Lots of
right.
people are waving, so we can wave back, which is very
All
nice.
right. Very good.
So
Hi.
hello to everybody. Your studio's at home anyway, isn't it?
So it's very close to my home. So it's in Tulse Hill.
Yeah.
So just down the road basically.
So you've been continuing to work.
I have, yes, yeah. I've been kind of making the most out of a bad situation.
Oh, that's good. So how have you found being on lockdown? Obviously, you've been going to the studio every day, but has that changed the way you've worked?
Yeah, do you know, it's been a bit of a funny one really, because I mean, obviously it's been very frustrating in the fact that all of my exhibitions, art fairs, and things like that have been cancelled or postponed.
Mm.
And then I saw Sefton joined it earlier, so I'm going to say hello to them. So I was supposed to do a show with them, their men's fashion brand, which couldn't go ahead, which was really, really unfortunate.
Oh, that's a shame.
So
Yeah.
that has been a frustrating thing. However, I've been kind of focusing my time online,
Mm.
as well as kind of just getting in the studio and trying new things that I wouldn't have had the chance to do otherwise.
That's what I was going to ask you. In terms of your practice and your
Yeah.
techniques, has it given you time, or have you changed things that you've done? Um, uh, because I
Ye-
mean, you're a mixed media person anyway. Have
Yeah.
you tried different media now?
Yeah, I'm still kind of sticking with so as you know, I paint on plywood and
Mm.
found pieces of wood, as well as canvas. So I've been sticking to that, as well as starting to do a few things on paper as well. But I think what I've been exploring is kind of different ways of approaching that surface and different mark making, which has been really fun. And actually, I've kind of discovered a few. I mean, it's we've not been in lockdown for that long yet, but
Feels like forever.
even in that short amount of time, I've kind of picked up a few or taught myself a few new techniques, which has been really, really good.
Oh, cool. Do you think that if you didn't have the art as an outlet, you might have gone a little bit stir crazy now?
100%, yeah. So my wife, Sky, she knows that like I've always got ants in my pants, and I'm always kind of I need to be doing something.
Hmm.
So I think it's kind of saved me and her having like being an artist, because it's kind of gets me out and gets me kind of creating. Otherwise, yeah, I would be struggling with it definitely.
Are you at
Um,
home now, or you're in your studio?
I'm at my studio now. Yes,
Yay! So can we
yeah.
have a quick
You
look
can
around? You
probably
flip the screen round so we can see.
yeah. Let's have a look at this. So
I'm
flipping
going to wave at
screen.
these lovely people as
Okay,
well who are
can
waving.
you see that?
Carpet.
Yes. So yeah,
Ah,
actually,
yeah,
this is
cardboard.
a new space which I've kind of like completely, well, hopefully protected from Marcus proof painting. So yeah,
I can
I'm
see lots of
barefoot.
tape on the floor.
Yeah, so basically I've got all these like moving rugs and I've taped them all together. But this is my main painting wall,
Hmm.
and this is a brand new piece, so exclusive. Woohoo!
Yeah,
um,
we like
so yeah,
exclusive.
I've not long finished this piece, but I'm pretty pleased with it. It's pretty fresh.
Have you given it a name yet?
Um, I think I have, but I can't actually remember what I've called it now. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Well, that's fine. But how do you go through the process of choosing a name for your artwork? I mean, you are a prolific painter.
Yeah, I try to produce as much as I can. But a lot of my titles for my works are kind of based on music. So whenever I'm painting, because as you know, a lot of my work's kind of very much based on movement and
Yeah.
gestural kind of mark making.
Yeah.
So a lot of names of my works are named after the music that I'm listening to a lot during making that piece. So quite often the names are often after tracks or artists that I've been listening to. So it kind of like, I don't know, dictates basically
Yeah.
the rhythm that I'm kind of going at it
And
with, really.
that's really interesting. Do you also have synesthesia at all?
What, where you kind of like
Were you thinking colours or you can
think in
hear
color?
sound?
I don't know. I suppose I don't know. I've never really thought about that, weirdly.
Just because, I mean, you use quite a particular colour palette. You don't
Yeah,
really veer off your whites, pinks, a cobalt blue, bit of turquoise here and there.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
which is, I mean, you can identify your artwork in a split second from those color themes. But I just wondered if if you're influenced by music, if you're synesthesic and you're hearing the colors or seeing sounds, I just wondered if that influenced the color palette that you used as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listening to music has a huge influence on me when I'm painting. Um, in terms of the colors, I think, yeah, for sure. Because when you're listening to something which is quite upbeat, let's say fast or whatever, for instance, I'll give you an example because that'll probably
Yeah.
be easier. So something like this, which is a
Oh,
really new work, is
yeah.
quite. There's a lot going on,
But I'm going
and you can.
to have a guess that that was something with a beat, but possibly someone singing in it as well, not just like clubbing music. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yay.
I listen to like a real array of different genres, so I don't know. There's no kind of like rhyme or reason what I stick to in terms of what I'm listening to and when I'm painting.
What else is scattered on your floor? I'm always interested in the floors of
So
art
the
studios.
floor, okay, we'll flip again. I'm like flipping this camera all over the place, aren't
Sorry.
I?
Flipping cameras.
So I've got a few packages there I need to get sent off.
Did
What
I see
else can
little
I?
bits of samples and small pieces that you were making on the floor as well?
Yeah, so these, are you talking about these ones
Yeah,
over
they're
here?
yeah.
Yeah. So these are kind of like halfway through being
Mm.
finished. So these are kind of like my typical 18 mil plywood sheets that I've cut, so they've got two more layers to go.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know where these are going to go. Usually I would say there's probably going to be some pink going on there. And then maybe the opposite for these actually. So who
And for,
knows? Who knows?
for
I do kind of paint in series, yeah. Um, for instance, flipping again, here we go. So
Oh,
these
I love
two were
that
kind
one on
of
the back. That
part of a series. So these were supposed to be going to the Sefton show. I'll kind of
mm,
lift it up, but you can kind of see the similarities in these two in terms of like the colors I've used. The framing's exactly the
yeah.
same. Um, so yeah, I tend to paint in series, but with the works to save on my time, when I've cut something, I will kind of split it in half.
Mm.
So I'll create two series out of one cut, basically, if that makes sense.
And when you showed us that fresh off the run painting, the big turquoise one, you had
Yes,
lots of other things on the wall next to it. Like there was a girl in a bikini. Is that your all of your source inspiration?
it is. Yeah. So this is just kind of stuff I've been collecting. Actually, this is a project I did with you, Katie. So that was that was just me.
Oh, is that the one for Aldi?
Yeah, yeah. So
Ah,
that's just kind of me keeping track of what I have finished or not finished.
yeah.
And then we've got kind of like loads of other stuff that I collect from magazines or all over the place.
Mm.
And just stuff I like, colors I want to kind of replicate in my work. So a lot of this stuff is kind of like graphic. This is actually a poster from a show I had.
That's your
Um,
background, though, isn't it? You did graphics at college, is that right?
I did, yeah. So I went to University of Arts London, and I so I'll just flip that back. Yeah, I studied a graphic and media design degree, but the whole time I was there, I didn't actually do any graphic design work, really, which is quite ridiculous. But
Yeah, it
I
really is.
focused my time when I was there anyway, doing all sculpture. So yeah, off the back of that, then started a jewelry company, and then from the back of that, started painting.
So we have had a couple of questions. Mine through art is
Okay.
asking, did you start selling work independently or get representation first?
But yeah, when I started out, it was independent. A few kind of, as you do, you sell to people, friends, and then you kind of start building up from that. So from there, I started working with a few art consultancies, so art and offices being one. Hey, hey. um, but I kind of had a bit of background into that because I actually used to be an art consultant in the
Yeah,
past, as you know,
we won't
Katie.
mention their name.
And then, yeah, also kind of some time managing a gallery as well. So that gave me a really, really good background and knowledge into how the art world works. So yeah, that kind of gave me a bit of a head start, I would say.
Have you got any tips though for people who haven't had your experience of working in the sales side of a gallery or an art consultancy? Would you suggest people start selling independently first or try and get representation?
Absolutely, yeah. So my advice would be to the best way of kind of reaching a wide audience is Instagram, I think, and Facebook. They're linked. They're the same company.
Have you used your online community much more during lockdown?
Yeah, massively. And actually, it's been pretty crazy for the last 2 weeks. My Instagram following's grown quite a bit then, and I've more than ever I've been receiving loads and loads of messages to my inbox and things like that, and emails um, from a lot from artists, which I'm always happy to kind of speak to, give advice like I am doing now, as well as prospective buyers as well.
Another question from someone on our live. Handwritten Art has asked, how do you go about creating your stunning color palette?
I kind of mix, in terms of my paint, a lot of household paint. For
Mm,
instance, this stuff here, this is from B&Q.
your millennium pink.
Yeah, as you know, I love my pink. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a mixed media artist, so I kind of use everything. So I've got kind of Liquitex box here, and then I've got all of my inks, golden materials, a mixture of stuff. So I kind of just mix it as I go along.
Mm.
Um, so I don't think there's like a right way or a wrong way. It's whatever works for you.
Your process is longer than just bish bash bosh. You know, you're very considered about how you create and layer and the materials you use.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It is a real process, and like a question I always get asked by people is, how long does it take you to paint a painting?
Yeah.
Which is like,
How long is
I
a piece
think,
of string?
yeah, it really is that kind of answer. It's so hard because sometimes I will create work which hasn't, I've done in under a day, for instance. It's so hard to know as well when a piece is finished because there's so many pieces where I've been working on and I've got it to a point where I've really loved it, and then at some point I've kind of said, "Oh, I've done one more brush mark," and then it's just wrecked it in my mind, and I've kind of been like
Yeah.
kicking myself. And
Have you
there's
ever
there's
done a
loads.
Francis Bacon where you just like ripped it up and put it on the bonfire?
Yes, I have.
Thank you so much again for this, Marcus, and enjoy the rest of this lovely sunny day.
All right, you too, and thank you for everybody who joined and asked the questions.
Yes,
It was
thank
it
you,
was good.
everybody.
So yeah. All right.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.